Zoom into East Africa now and see what stories are making headlines in this region of our continent. We speak to journalist and team leader at Grassroots Journalism, Kenya, Dennis Beru. Dennis, happy new month, a happy new morning to you. How are you this Tuesday?
Happy New Month. I am doing well this morning. Hope you are well in South Africa.
We're well, thank you very much. And we start with where you're based in Kenya today. Gen Z demonstrations that have been happening there. It's now reported that at least over 500 protesters have been arrested. Give us an update on this story.
Thank you so much, Asanda. Of course, last week, the young people, the Gen Zs, went to the streets to demand the resignation of Deputy Inspector of the Police, Ali Lagat, over the death of a blogger and a teacher, Albert Omondi. And we've never seen what happened since the demonstration started in this country during the last year's the finance bill demos. And as of yesterday, the police say that they've arrested over 500 young people who are believed took the advantage of the demonstrations to vandalize and steal properties worth of millions. And one of the counties that has been hit by this arrest is Nyandarua County, which was really affected with these demos, where we saw over 47 government vehicles banned. We even saw the government buildings from this county raised down by the demonstrators. And of yesterday, over 500 young people have been arrested, and some of them have been arraigned in court, and some will be arraigned in court today to answer to charges on allegation around property vandalization and stealing properties worth millions of shilling. And I remember the county, that is the county of Nairobi, which is now the capital of Nairobi, was also hit by these demonstrations. And we've seen so many people, their businesses have been closed down because of the vandalism that we saw that was committed. And one of the largest supermarket chains in this country was looted, and some young people were also arrested inside the supermarket.
There's also allegations that the former deputy president of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, is connected to the latest protests in the country somehow. What is he being accused of exactly, and how does his name connect?
Asanda, this is not the first time the former or the embattled former deputy president is now being implicated in the chaos. I remember during the Gen Z's demos in 2024, when he was also in government, he was also implicated in financing the demonstrations. And speaking in an interview last week on Friday, Gachagua, who described the allegations as part of a political witch hunt, which is now aimed at tainting his name and diverting the attention of the government failures. And even went ahead and said that if indeed he was responsible for the chaos that we've seen, why have not they arrested him? He also said that, if really the intelligence had information that he had sponsored the goons to vandalize and steal properties worth millions of Kenyan shillings, Why are the police still waiting? They have not yet arrested me. And remember, these remarks comes at a time when the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen characterized the Gen Z-led demos as attempted a coup, claiming that the demonstrators were well-funded, the politically motivated operation were also aimed at overthrowing a government. So in recent past, we've seen some of the members of government trying to throw jabs at former President Rigathi Gachagua, who is gaining a lot of influence among the young people.
Would you say he is correct when he's saying that these are politically motivated allegations, as far as also this being part of a planned coup, as now reports are alleging?
You see, Asanda, when you come out and say that a former deputy president sponsored the demos, that will be very unrealistic. Remember, we saw demos all over the country. Out of 47 counties, we had demonstrations in 27 counties. That is more than a half of the counties, and it's very realistic. And as I said, before, Rigathi Gachagua is really gaining the support of young people, because young people feel that they're tired with the government, and he has been at the forefront, telling government that at the end of the day, you have to listen to the grievances being raised by the young people.
Let's move to Uganda now, where President Yoweri Museveni is confirming that he does have a bid to run in the next elections. He's saying, the 80-year-old, that he wants to tackle economic growth. He wants to change things as they stand from GDP of $66 billion to $500 billion. How does he pledge to achieve this?
Asanda, thank you so much. Very interesting to see Yoweri Museveni, who is now 80-year-old, vying again. And remember, Museveni has been in power since the coup in 1986, where Tito Okello was overthrown in a 5-year civil war. And the experts, political experts, political commentators feel that, it is very unrealistic when Museveni says that, of course, I want to transform Uganda. I want to transform Uganda into a $500 billion economy. And remember, the Uganda's current domestic product stands at 66 billion US. So it is very unrealistic to see whether that could be achieved. And I remember he has been in power now for almost 40 years. Where has he been, to transform this? And remember, the opposition leader who has now turned out to be a pop star, who turned out to be a politician, Bobby Wine, has also confirmed that he will be vying also against Museveni. And remember, in 2021, he rejected the widespread of he rejected the election results, alleging that there were a widespread of fraud, ballot tampering, and also intimidation by the security forces. And we've also seen, the rise in the arrest of people who are perceived to be the opponents of government. And also recently, where we saw that, Parliament passed a bill allowing the military courts to try civilian, an action that the Supreme Court ruled in early this year that was unconstitutional. So, Asanda, we will see how things will unfold in Uganda, because the election will be happening in January 2026, and we don't know whether it will be free and fair, because recently we have seen how election has been conducted in Uganda. Opposition leaders being arrested. One of them is Kizza Besigye, who is still under trial.
There's also the unconstitutional practice there of allowing military courts to try civilians. That was passed recently. How likely are complaints by rights groups and opposition parties to be heeded as far as this is concerned?
Of course, Human Rights Watch has also criticized Uganda's military courts for failing to meet the international standard for judicial independence and fairness. Because when they're trying these opposition leaders and activists, of course, they will lean on the side of government. So this is where the issues to do with fairness and the independency comes. And a senior African researcher, that is Oyem Anyeko, who is a researcher at HRW, and I'll quote, he said that, Ugandan authorities have for the years misused military courts to crack down on the opponents and the critics of government. So this will really play out during this year's election. And remember, we've not talked about the electoral reforms in Uganda, the things that Bobby Wine raised during the 2021 general elections. The reforms have not yet been, done. So experts or political science activist experts feel that, this will not be free and fair election in Uganda.
Off to Tanzania now. The International Monetary Fund has granted the country $448 million US. What is the financing for?
Yeah, thank you so much, Asanda. Of course, this comes after a team of a credit facility, and that is now Resilience and Sustainability, RSF, met with the government officials in Tanzania. And I remember this is just trying to unlock and bridge or bringing to IMF support that is about 907 million US dollars. And this is just to finance some of them trying to revamp the economic status of Tanzania. And remember, these could also we've seen inflation in Tanzania. So and IMF coming on board to credit Tanzania these billions of money. It is just a way just to bring
Hello, Dennis, have we lost you? Are you still there? I think we've got a network issue on his telephonic line. We're going to be heading to news headlines in just a bit, though. I wonder if it's going to be possible to try and get a hold of Dennis just to finalize on that point, and also discuss what's happening in Ethiopia, where they've opened a landmark science museum in Addis Ababa, how that will contribute towards the science and technology goals for Tanzania, and what this will mean also even for the education sector. That science museum being launched or inaugurated in Addis Ababa. But I think we'll let Dennis go as we make our way to the news headlines.
Zochitika ndi Madaphiri.